Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are on Astros Earth. Had a little bit of a busy schedule, so I wasn't able to get my stream set up until just moments ago, but it is now taken care of. So, here we are. Game 2 of the Houston Astros at home versus the Curbs. The Dirty Curbs. The Dirty Curbs. Nice solid game yesterday for the Astros, batting and pitching. Looking for another result today. McCullers is back on the mound, guys. McCullers is back on the mound. How about that, right? How about that? Whoops. Let's see here. I'm trying to get my screen layout corrected because my computer restarted again last night. Everything is out of whack, just as usual. Thank you, Windows, for doing that. I appreciate it. I'm all about that. I'm all about that, Windows. I'm very appreciative that Windows likes to mess up my layouts. It's my favorite thing in the world, actually. Let's see here. This needs to go to my live stream, but I'm going to close that one. For those of you who are just listening in, don't be confused. I'm just trying to get some things straight on my layout for myself and for the game feed. Pretty strange. I'm trying to get to my live stream right now so I can see what's going on with you guys. Do you guys like the thumbnail? I think it's pretty funny. ChatGPT tried to tell me I can't make this thumbnail. It violates our policies. And I said, if you're thinking that it violates your policies because it has Winnie the Pooh, then Winnie the Pooh is no longer protected by trademark or copyright. And it said, oh yeah, you're right. And then it made the image for me. You know, Disney still tries to copyright claim Winnie the Pooh. For those of you who don't know, Winnie the Pooh is no longer protected by copyright. That's why they had that movie come out called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, or whatever it was called. Because it's not a protected property anymore. Anyway, I think that I've got it all set up. Happy Sunday to you, Daniel. And thank you for wishing me a happy Saturday, but Saturday's over here. Let's see here. Yeah, go Astros indeed. 7 people following along. Thank you for being here already. First pitch is in about 6 minutes or so. It should be. Kyle Tucker did absolutely nothing in yesterday's game. The Astros completely shut him down. Brandon Walter had an excellent game. Phenomenal game. Actually, compared to the relievers, Walter had an absolutely amazing game. The good thing is that the Astros didn't use their mostly, okay, they mostly did not use their primary relievers. They did wind up bringing in Josh Hader in the end because it just wasn't getting shut down properly. And so Hader did come in to get the last out. but it was a very light workload for him to just pitch to one batter. The other relievers that the Astros used, Sosa, Ort, some of their not main relievers. Typically, the Astros prefer to go to, in a close situation, it would be like Brian King, then Brian Abreu, and then Josh Hader. But we didn't see King or Abreu at all in yesterday's game, and Hader only came in the ninth when Sosa had begun to struggle a little bit with what was going on in the inning. And that was the right call. I don't even know why exactly Espada was pushing his luck, allowing... Oh, hang on a second. There we go. I forgot to change the image on the screen to my colors. It was still Fromber. Fromber's tomorrow, but it's fixed now. Anyway, I wasn't really for sure. In my personal opinion, it didn't really make any sense to leave Sosa in for another inning. It was kind of like pushing the bar a little bit, pushing his luck instead of just cashing out. He took a gamble, and by he I mean Espada. Espada took a gamble. Didn't work out for him. So he brought in Hader to put out the fire. Instead of winning by 6 runs, the Astros only won by 3. Should have been 7-1 yesterday, not 7-4. But whatever. We still got the win, and the dirty curbs went down. Hey, Crispy, welcome back. Good to see you. Crispy says, I think this will be a tough game. Don't know how Lance is going to do. We got no Pena. Yeah, that's right. I forgot to mention that. If for those of you who don't know, Pena was hit in the back, kind of in the back and the side yesterday with a pitch. Apparently it caused him some soreness in his ribs, and so he is out of the game today. For some reason right now, the lineup that I have on the MLB website, or on the MLB TV, well, you can't see it there, but it literally shows Pena in the lineup, but he is not in the lineup, so forget about that. I think this lineup that they're showing to me right now, it is from yesterday's game. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Let's see here. Let me try to reload it. There we go. Okay. I've got it now. The Astros lineup for today is like this. They moved Paredes to batting first. So it's Isaac Paredes. Jake Myers batting second, guys. How about that? Followed by Jose Altuve. So Altuve stays in the 3 spot, but Paredes moves up to number 1, and Jake Myers batting second. Cam Smith is batting cleanup in the 4th spot, in right field, of course. Diaz is the DH today, batting 5th. The Batman, Victor Caratini, is batting 6th. I'm calling it right now. Caratini is going to hit another home run today in the Crawford boxes. You mark my words. Caratini is going to the Crawford boxes today. And he'll do it within the first 5 innings. Let's say within his first 2 at-bats. That's what I'll say. Within his first 2 at-bats. That's a very bold call, but that's what I'm saying. Christian Walker is batting 7th at first base. Cooper Hummel is in left field batting 8th, and Dubon will be at shortstop covering Pena, which I expected, batting 9th. I would actually rather see Dubon batting 7th, and then Hummel or Walker. It's kind of a toss-up. Hey, Butterfly, welcome back. Good to see you. Fox at Bat, good to see you too. Welcome back. Hello, everyone. Yeah, 14 people following along right now. 7 likes, almost at 10 already before the first pitch. We're getting there. Kyle Tucker over there taking some swings. Still looks funny to see him in a blue Curbs uniform. The first batter for the Cubs is at the plate right now, and that's Happ. Ian Happ. Here comes the pitch from McCullers. There we go. Strike one. On the outside edge, 0-1. Let's go, STROS. Here comes the 0-1. Inside, ball one. Chris says Caratini needs to point like the Babe did. That'd be hilarious. Or it could be like in Major League where he bunts the ball, right? He points but then bunts the ball. That'd be hilarious. I really want to see somebody do that in the MLB. Call their shot and then bunt the ball. That's classic, right? Here's a 1-2 pitch. Grounded on the right side to McCullers, and he tosses it over to Walker. Happ is easily retired on the tapper. Little tap, tap, tappy to the mound, and that brings up the ex-King Tuck. He's no longer King Tuck to me. His kingdom has been left behind. He abandoned the throne, as far as I'm concerned. McCullers, ex-teammate. It's the battle of ex-teammates today. Yesterday wasn't really much of a... It wasn't a teammate battle because Walter never played with Tucker. 1-0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard to the right side. The first hit of the series for Tucker. He singles it into right field. So McCullers is now behind in the battle with Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker was like 0 for 1,000 yesterday, and he gets a hit on the very first pitch of the game. One away, runner on first in the first inning, top of the first. Jay says, Rays walked off the M's. That's nice. The Rags. The Rags. That's interesting. Yeah, Casey, I see that. You said base hit, but yes, I saw it. I'm doing the live play-by-play, so you don't need to say that. Seiya Suzuki's at the plate, takes the first pitch in there for strike one. Jay says no Rags for the Rangers. Oh and 1, here comes the pitch. Right in there. Tucker's stealing, and he's easily able to get in there. 20 steals for Tucker this year. Man, he had a really, really good jump there. He was in there way ahead of time. Caratini could have held that ball. He didn't even need to throw it. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from McCullers. Outside and low. Ball one. Suzuki at the plate with one out. Tucker on second in the top of the first. 19 people following along and 10 likes. Please like the live stream if you don't mind. Caratini behind the plate gives the call to McCullers. Here comes the pitch. Grounded on the right side. That's going to move Tucker over. And that was a really bad throw, but they barely get it at first base. Man, McCullers has a dive for that throw. What a terrible throw from Christian Walker. Cubs might be challenging. They're going to take a look at it. That was close. Yeah, he did get him. He's going to be out. 2 outs. Look at that amazing effort by McCullers on an absolutely terrible throw by Christian Walker. Tucker's at third base with 2 outs. Next batter at the plate, Pete Crow Armstrong takes the first pitch for ball one. That's a good example of what I'm talking about. When Walker has to think too much and act too quickly at the same time, he makes errors. He's not Gold Glove material in my mind. He's a good infielder, but not great. Outside, ball 2, 2-0. Casey says closed caption for the hearing impaired. I think they can turn on auto captions. Next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. McCullers with a really awesome play. That was such a great play by McCullers to be aware to catch that ball and put his foot on the base. Holy cow, that was great. Saving himself an out there, maybe even a run. Here's a pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Caratini. 3 balls and 1 strike. On my base pad runners is a little off. I have to recenter that. 1 second. Here's a 3-1. A little outside. It bounces away. Caratini has to go grab it. That's a walk. Runners on the corners in the top of the first. Hang on a second. This this is acting crazy. My layout was messed up by Windows, and I'm trying to fix it right quick. Should be able to fix it now. 1 second. Dansby Swanson is at the plate. Here comes a pitch. Crow Armstrong goes to second base. No throw by Caratini. Runners on second and third now. There we go. That's better. That's better. Here comes the next pitch. Outside, ball 2. There we go. Two and 0 to Dansby Swanson. McCullers steps off the rubber for a moment to take a break. Now he's looking for the call. Shakes off a couple. Runners on second and third. 2 outs. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch to Swanson. In the dirt, ball 3. McCullers started off decent, even though he gave up a hit to Tucker. But he has been throwing some balls, man. Just so you know, this year, McCullers has been struggling with a high pitch count. 16 walks and 30 batters. And there's another one, a 4-pitch walk. 4 straight pitches, ball 4. Loaded bases in the first inning. It's a good thing that the Astros have a great chance to light up the pitcher today, because if McCullers is going to be doing this, he's not going to last. Here comes the pitch to the next batter. Inside, another ball. Michael Busch at the plate. Ayush. There we go with the negative comments again. Ayush, you are just full of negativity. You're always, the sky is falling. Way inside, ball 2. Non-stop. I think every single live stream you have this negative view about what's going to happen. 14 balls and 7 strikes. for McCullers. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Misses inside, ball 3. McCullers can't throw a strike right now. It's about 8 strikes in a row. I mean, 8 balls in a row. Bases loaded, 3 balls, no strikes. Is he going to walk somebody in, or is he going to actually throw a strike right here? Let's see. Here it comes. Ball 4, way inside. He walks in a run. 9 balls thrown in a row. Tucker comes home. Josh Miller is going to have a little chit-chat with McCullers on the mound, the pitching coach for the Astros. Ayus says McCullers throws way too many balls. Do you think so? That's been his problem all season long, is control. He throws a very, very high pitch count. He has to throw 100 pitches just to get through 5 innings. That's ridiculous. One to nothing Cubs on a walk by Lance McCullers Jr. The next pitch is going to be 24 for McCullers in the first inning. McCullers doesn't suck. He's just struggling right now. Outside, ball 1. Nico Horner at the plate. It's about 10 balls in a row thrown by McCullers. Another one outside, up and high. We got roughly a dozen balls thrown in a row. 12 balls thrown by McCullers, not a single strike. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That's in there. Sinker, 91 miles an hour. The first strike in a dozen pitches. 2 balls and 1 strike to Nico Horner. Here comes just. He finally throws it in the zone, and Horner goes after it, but he gives up a run. I think that the Astros are extremely lucky to get out of that inning, giving up only 1 run. So lucky. That ground ball right there to Dubon saved the inning, saved the game, in my opinion. Absolutely saved the game. You guys say some of the most interesting things sometimes. Just because you're an MLB pitcher doesn't mean that you can always throw strikes. Do you have even any idea of what it's like to be an MLB player? It's on a completely different level than anything any of us have ever done. I was actually offered a scholarship to play basketball at the university level. That's not easy. That's really difficult. It's one step away from professional. And let me tell you why I did not do that. The main reason I didn't do that is because I had a really good taste of what is required to play at that level. And I didn't have a strong enough passion to play at that level. For those of you who've never been a pitcher, and even for those of you who've never been a pitcher on a serious team, with a truly knowledgeable and serious pitching coach, you have no idea what it's like to be a professional pitcher. What it takes and what it does to the body. I'm amazed at people like Hunter Brown. I can't do what McCullers could do. Even if I trained, I could never even be half the pitcher McCullers is right now. I'm serious. I just don't have the body for it. I don't have the arm for it. But people like Hunter Brown amaze me because he's throwing nearly 100 miles an hour and he just keeps going and going and going and going. I can't throw 1 inning like that. I can't even throw one batter like that. Prentice is at the plate. First pitch is in there for strike one from Colin Ray. McCullers was seriously injured for a long time. He was out for a really long time, and he's been trying to come back. I think it's obvious why he's struggling. Just barely misses for ball one. 1-1 to Paredes. We don't have to ask why is McCullers struggling. I think we know why McCullers is struggling, right? Anybody who knows the Astros. Paredes moves to second base. The Astros have their first hit of the game. Runners on first and second with no outs. That's good. I told you guys that this pitcher, this is a right-handed pitcher, and the Astros can definitely own this pitcher big time. Even better than yesterday. Jay, you're right, and people keep forgetting that. Being out for 2 years after an injury is rough. It's very difficult, and most pitchers do not make it back. Jose Altuve is at the plate, so we can give him a little bit of leeway instead of bashing on him. Here's the pitch to Altuve. This is a little low for ball one. I used to go being negative again. I'm scared now because you can't trust the Astros. Are you talking about Peña's injury? It's obvious why Peña is out. He got hit by a ball yesterday. Everybody knows that. 2 balls and no strikes to Altuve. We don't have to guess at what's keeping Peña out. We know. We know what's keeping Peña out today. He's sore because he got hit in the ribs by a pitch. Here comes the next pitch to Altuve. He hits this one high in the air to right field. Tucker is underneath it. Should be caught. Tucker grabs it. Paredes, the fast turtle, is not going to tag. Runners hold it first and second. Astros, Houston says konnichiwa konbanwa. Well, for me, it's Ohayo gozaimasu. It's morning right now. It's 8:35 in the morning here. So, Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning to you. How bad is it? I don't think it's that bad. He's at the game. He's in the bullpen. I think he's just sore. That's a strike. So after Altuve flies out to Tucker, Cam Smith is at the plate, takes the first pitch for strike one. 2 runners on, 1 out. Let's see if Cam will crank it up right here. Here comes the pitch. He rifles it into the crowd on the right side, strike 2. Norhill says bunt. Not now, not with 1 out. Maybe with no outs, but not with 1 out. Another foul off to the first base side by Cam Smith. Count remains 1-2. I'm sorry, 0-2. Yeah, I mean, Peña runs really fast. He moves around really fast. Next pitch to Cam Smith is a strikeout. He foul tips it into the glove of the catcher. Held on for out number 2. Cam goes down. That will bring up Yiner. Yiner's our last chance this inning. Our current last chance to get some runs. I keep waiting for him to do that classic opposite field hit or opposite field home run that he often likes to do this year. First pitch to Diaz on the Diaz is thrown out on a grounder to first on the very first pitch. So the Astros get 2 runners on with a hit by pitch and a single and then strand them. Out, out, out. Fly out, strike out, ground out. Colin Ray gets lucky and gets out of the inning. 1-0 Curbs after the end of 1. Top of the second coming up in just a moment. I appreciate you guys liking the live stream. What I don't understand is there are 45 people following along right now and only 18 likes. That's less than 50%. That's a terrible ratio. Please take a moment to just like the live stream. Like this video. That's very easy. A very easy request. Thank you in advance. If you like the Astros, you can also subscribe. I currently have 546 subs. I'm going to enlarge this on the screen. I appreciate my new subs from yesterday until today. I think I've gotten about 7 new subs, so thank you so much for that. All of you new people who are here. I'll let you know as if you hang out in the live stream or you listen in or you're involved in the chat, you'll hear some things, certain things regularly, and one of those is the focus on being positive and of course being respectful. That's all I ask in the live chat. You can express any opinions you want and you can offer criticisms and whatever. That's fine. But I don't allow rude behavior, and if people are just incessantly negative, then I'll have to cut that out. So let's think about the positive things. You can't win all the time. The Astros are doing really, really well compared to last year, and compared to all the other teams, they're not doing bad at all. We're just a breath away from being the best in the AL. So the sky is not falling in Houston, guys. The Astros are doing really well. We should be very happy with how far they've come. Let's be happy in our lives and happy in the game. After all, it is just a game. At the end of the day, it's just a game. If you go to sleep upset because of Lance McCullers, then there's something wrong inside of you. Speaking of McCullers, he throws that first pitch in there for strike one. All right, that's a good way to start it off. Matt Shaw at the plate for the Curbs. Next pitch misses a little bit inside for ball one. 1-1 is the count. 21 likes. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Here's the next pitch to Shaw. In there. Check swing. Strike two. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, Chris, bruised ribs are no laughing matter. It's not a serious injury, but man, it's painful, right? You need a little bit of time to work that soreness out. Here's a pitch. Swing and a miss. All right, McCullers picks up a strikeout. Nice toss. Would look like a slider. Good job by McCullers to get that first strikeout in 4 pitches. Good start to the inning. 1 away. Reese McGuire comes to the plate for the Curbs. Here's the pitch. A little outside and low, ball 1. Crispy says we had our chances and failed to score run. What are you talking about? We scored 7 runs yesterday. Are you just talking about this game? That's 1 inning. That's 1 inning. Man. How do you like that? McCullers getting the job done on D. It's 2 away. Next batter at the plate is Ian Happ. Strike 1. Happ is 0 for 1. He grounded out in the first inning. Nobody on, 2 away. Here comes the toss. A little high. I'd say that would be more than a foot out of the zone. Kind of reminds me sometimes of Bob Uecker in Major League. Just a little outside. But it's so far outside it misses by like 6 or 7 feet or something like that. That one is just a little outside. Ball 2, 1-2. I'm sorry, 2-1. Plenty of game left, that's right. Grounded to the right side, right to Altuve. Throws him out at first. Out number 3, 3 up and 3 down for McCullers in the second inning. So the sky is not falling like some people were thinking. McCullers gets through it. with a strikeout and 2 groundouts and a great defensive play. Good, solid performance from Lance McCullers that inning. 1-0 Curbs going into the bottom of the second. Astros will be up at the plate again in just a moment. Yeah, Mark, you're right. When you have any type of soreness in your ribs, I mean, those areas they have a lot of muscles and tissues, and they're meant to flex. And of course, they expand when you breathe and you move around. Everything you do, it's sore. But you know, Pena is actually at the game. He's in the dugout. So he's okay to move around and do regular basic things, but like you said earlier, diving and running around the bases and swinging the bat, that's painful. So he needs the time to recover. It's not a serious injury. I'm confident he's okay. Confident. And by the way, just so you know, the pitch that hit him was in the 80s. It was a changeup, and I'm not saying that that's that's nothing. I'm just saying that he's lucky it wasn't a 97 or 98 mile per hour fastball. It was a changeup. So it could have been worse. Could have had broken ribs. Could have had fractured ribs. Can you imagine if we had lost Pena to fractured ribs? He'd have been out for the rest of the season. That would have been a horrendous blow to the Astros. So he's lucky or blessed, and we're blessed that it's not more serious than what it was. Yep, Mark, one time when I was a kid, my dad was actually doing some work up on a roof, and the roof caved in and he fell through and landed on the floor. There was a concrete floor. I will say this, even though he broke a few ribs, he's lucky that that's all he broke. Could have lost him. He could have died. Could have broke his neck easily. Could have been paralyzed. Very, very, very lucky he was to only break some ribs. Back then when I was a kid, I didn't realize how serious that was. Kids don't always realize that, you know. They don't know that about that stuff. But now looking back, I'm like, wow, man, that could have lost him at that time. Things would have been a lot different. The Batman Caratini is at the plate. He's batting lefty. I called him to hit a home run in his first 2 at-bats. Let's see if he can pull it off. Opposite field foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I missed the first pitch to Caratini. 1-2 on this at-bat so far. Yeah, Crispy, 2 great plays by Lance. His pitching started off a little shaky, but his defense has been solid. Maybe he can play second base. Yeah, maybe. How does he swing the bat? Low and inside, ball 2. I am kind of curious. If they put all of the Astros pitchers in like a hitting contest where they had to pitch and hit against each other, who would be the best? Who would be the top 3 batters, do you think? Fouled off on the first base side. Count remains 2-2 to Caratini, the Batman. Mark says, I was wrestling my godson. Wrestling with God? Like, what was it, Isaac? Hit up the middle. That's going to be playable by the center fielder. He puts it away. 1 away. So Caratini doesn't get the home run that I was expecting. That wasn't as hard hit as I was expecting either, but it did get into the outfield. He's putting the bat on the ball. He's putting the bat on the ball. And that brings up our number 1 hitter, Christian Walker. It is nice, though, seeing Christian Walker batting .215, even though .215 is terrible. It's so much better than batting under 200. First pitch is just a little high, ball 1. Jordan says Cubs are ahead. Did Tucker hit a home run? No, he did not. He actually walked. No, I'm sorry. No, he got a single. And then base, it looked like he had an opportunity to round third and go home, but he stumbled. Why did they not send him? Paris Chica held him up. Okay, he stumbled because Paris Chica held him up. Of course, it's Paris Chica as always. You can see it on the left side of your screen. Yeah, he told him really early. Yeah, he could have sent him. He could have sent him. Runners on the corners. Mauricio Dubon at the plate. 2 hits this inning for the Astros, 3 in total. Already Astros hitting the ball better than the Cubs. Throw over to first base. Hummel is back. That was close. Hummel almost gets picked off at first base by Ray. Yeah, it looks like the Cubs. Yeah, the Cubs are going to challenge it. They think that they picked off Hummel at first base. So they're going to challenge that. We'll take a look and see. Hey, Sergio, good to see you. Jordan says I could manage the third base coaching job. I think that it's not quite as difficult. Here goes the replay there on the first base. Woo! It looks like he might have gotten him. Yep, they got him. He's out. The call's overturned. Good job, Hummel. Hummel gets on base with a base hit, and he gets picked off immediately. He goes to the dugout, out number 2. Good job. Good job right there, Hummel. Terrible base running on behalf of Cooper Hummel. Out number 2. Mauricio Dubon is at the plate with 2 outs. Christian Walker on third. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1. I feel like Walker's hit would be a homer in most parks. I don't think so, because if he had hit it towards the Crawford boxes, maybe it would have been a homer. But the Crawford boxes are pretty close. Here's a pitch. Outside and low again. Another good take by Dubon. 2 balls and no strikes. All we need is a little single. Any single will do. Here comes the 2-0. Ah, he holds up on that pitch, but it was right in the zone. Strike 1. It looked like he was going to go for it. He held up at the last minute. He goes after this one, fouls it off. 2 balls and 2 strikes. When we get opportunities, we can't make mental mistakes like what Hummel just made at first base. Dubon is going to fly out, it looks like, unless there's trouble. No, center fielder calls it off. Out number 3. So Walker's leadoff double is wasted, or rather his 1-out double is wasted. Kyle Tucker is due up for the Curbs in the top of the 3rd. 3 hits for the Astros, but nothing to show for it. 1 hit for the Curbs so far, and they're leading 1-0. McCullers at 38 pitches. He'll be back up on the mound in just a moment. He had a really good second inning. Let's see if he can duplicate that here. Yeah, the third base coach makes consistent questionable calls, in my opinion. I think that if people who watch these games become very familiar with the name of the third base coach, it's not a good thing. Because I think if you have a really good third base coach, then probably you'll never, ever really hear much about him. But if you have a questionable or not so good third base coach, then you'll hear his name mentioned too much. But even the commentators for this game were saying that he should have sent Walker. But he actually told him to stop way before the play was even developed. So he gave up on the play really early. He could have at least told him to round the bag, but he didn't even do that. So there was no opportunity for Walker to know. Maybe this is why some of the Astros, like Cam Smith or Pena, they take the initiative to just keep going. They run right through the stop sign by Paris Chica. Paris Chica really has no idea, no good idea from my perspective, of how much time is needed for the players to get to home plate from third and how long it will take the throw to come from the outfield to the infield. That's something that he should really work on, or they should just get somebody else at third base. It's my feeling. Here's a pitch to Tucker. High, ball one. "44 people following the live stream and only 23 likes. Discrepancy alert. Make sure you like the live stream. 0-1 is the count. I'm sorry, I had it backwards. 1-0 is the count to Kyle Tucker. Here comes the pitch. Outside on the outside edge. It's not a ball. Not a strike. I guess not. The umpire didn't like it. Looked like a strike to me, but 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the third. Here's the pitch. High and outside. 3 straight balls. 3 straight balls to Kyle Tucker. One for one today with a single. Here's the next pitch from McCullers, the 3-0. In there for strike. 3-1. Sergio, his first inning was really difficult. Second inning was good. This one's lined over to Altuve. Fires over to first. Easy out. He retires his ex-teammate. Good job, Tuve. Tucker is 1 for 2 today with a single to right field and a ground out to Altuve. 1 out. That brings up Seiya Suzuki. McCullers has now retired 5 straight curbs. Suzuki Seiya from Hiroshima's team. Let's see what he does here. Just a little outside and low for ball 1. Walker slow. Hummel sucks. Nice base running. Well, it was Paris Chica that told him to stop, David. This is hit out into the right side. Walker's underneath it, is able to grab it in foul territory for out number 2. All right. 2 up and 2 down. They're showing the awesome defensive plays by McSpace. Great defense today by McCullers. 6 retired in a row. Here's the next batter. Armstrong. Pete Crow Armstrong takes the first pitch high and outside for ball 1. Here's a pitch. Fouled off at the plate for strike 1. The count is even. David says, did you really think Doobie would get a hit? He does sometimes, David, and he's been hot recently. Why are you guys being so freaking negative? Another inning of missed opportunities. Negative. Did you really think Doobie would get a hit? Negative. Negative, negative, negative. Ayush being negative. That made me so mad. Third base coach sucks. Guys, what is with... Come on, turn it around now. Fix your attitude. Let's be positive. When the Astros are scoring, you're in a good mood, and when they're not, you go into a bad mood. Do they really control your emotions? 2-1, fouled off at the plate. 2-2. You cannot allow things on the outside to control your emotions. You have to control your emotions. Be happy on the inside, and then everything on the outside will follow. You don't have to worry about what's happening on the outside. Just be happy on the inside. Don't be so focused on those negative things. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off at the plate. The count remains 2-2. I will agree with you, Jordan, that the third base coach, Paris Chica, is not doing his job well. He's just not good at it. Fly ball to center field. Myers is going to come in and grab it. Out number 3. 3 up and 3 down again for McCullers. So after struggling a little bit in the first inning, McCullers comes back with 2 solid 3 up and 3 down innings. That's 7 batters retired in a row by McCullers with no base runners in between. How about that? So he's come back. He's come back a little bit. A little bit. He's retired 7 in a row. That's better than a little bit. He's been doing good. 1 hit given up by McCullers and 1 run through 3 innings. Can't complain about that. How many pitches does he have right now? I didn't get to see his pitch count. Let's see. Where's it at? There it is. 51 pitches. Okay. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse. It's a little high. But if he can just get through 5 innings and keep it where it's at, I'll be happy with that. I'll be satisfied. I don't expect McCullers to do much more than 5 innings right now in his current state. But if he gets through 5 with a 1 run given up, we can't complain about that. There's no reason to be upset. Chris asks, are you insinuating that the players don't trust the coaches? I don't know who you're asking, but I can give you an answer to that question. You can't be universal in your statements like that. You can't say that all of the players, or none of the players rather, trust the coaches, or all of the players trust the coaches. Every player is unique and individual, and they trust the coaches to different extents. For those of you who watch the games like I do, now think about this. Those of you who listen to the games probably only listen to the games sometimes. And those of you who watch the games only watch the games sometimes. Some of you only watch the highlights. Not everybody sits and watches all of the games, every single game. I do. And when you watch every single game, you get to notice things that you would not know or notice otherwise. And one of those things is Cam Smith and Pena and people like that frequently ignore the stop signals from Paris Chica. It's just a fact. It's a fact. I'm telling you a fact. First pitch to Paredes is in there for strike 1. He was hit by pitch his first at bat. Let's see if he can hit back. Here's the 0-1. Whoa, up and in. Ball 1, 1-1. So, to answer the question, do the players not trust the coaches? Some of them do not trust the coaches. Some of them trust them a little bit. Some of them trust them a lot. It depends on the player, and it depends on what's going on in the game. So it's not a universal question that you can answer. He gets hit at his first at bat. And here in the bottom of the 3rd, he comes back with a hit of his own. We have a no-out base runner, leadoff base runner. Jordan says, I think we win 5-3. I think we have potential to score more runs today than yesterday just because of this pitcher. This is the kind of pitcher the Astros can actually light up. They just haven't done it yet. Myers is at the plate. Fouls it off. 1 for 1 today. Here's that swing on that inside swing by Paredes. Next pitch to Myers is hit to the left side. Could be a double play ball. The first throw is low. He was safe at first. Can you believe it? A slow relay and a bad throw to second base by the third baseman. Myers is too fast. Predis is thrown out at second. Myers is not able, or Myers is able to beat it out at first base. So 1 out, but Myers remains on base. The good thing is that we now have a guy on first base who's fast. Instead of the fast turtle, we actually have a fast runner. Altuve's at the plate. Takes that first pitch way outside for ball 1. Yes, let's go indeed. Settle down. Nice and calm. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Altuve. Nope. He throws it over to first base, but Myers, unlike Hummel, is able to get back in time. Yes, I want that home run. Altuve would be my #1 choice to get it, too. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Upper part of the zone, strike 1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on first. There's the pitch. Altuve rips it to the left side, but it's going to be playable by the third baseman. He goes over to first. No play at second base. Myers moves to second, so at least we have the runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Fox at bat says McCullers has always been my problem has always been that McCullers gets out of control when he has a player on base. I don't know about that. I'd say sometimes that's a problem. But actually there are several pitchers like that. They seem to do okay, but as soon as they get a base runner, they get a little flustered. It can happen. Even Abreu is like that sometimes. Brian Abreu. This is hit high in the air to the right side. And out of play. Cam Smith at the plate. Already down in the count, 0-2. He struck out in the first inning. Let's see if he can crank it up a little bit better. We have a runner on second, Cam. Come on, man. Do what you can do. Show the Cubs why they should not have traded you. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Opposite field foul ball again. Count remains 0-2. Yeah, Myers is batting second, David. Pena is out, so they moved the lineup around a lot. Here comes the pitch. High, ball 1, 1-2 to Cam Smith. Myers hanging out on second base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. The Astros down by just 1. Myers waiting to see just how Cam Smith is going to drive him in. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Outside, ball 2. 2-2. Ray's got to be a little nervous here because he knows that Cam has a lot of power and speed. He could crank it up right here and either tie it up or take the lead. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Count remains 2-2. Chris, talking about Mercury being in retrograde. You're talking about astrology? That's interesting. Here comes a pitch. Inside, check swing. They say, did he go? No. Umpire says, safe. Full count. Yeah, he definitely stopped. Pretty easy to see. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Fouled off on the third base side this time. Count remains full. 49 people following along and only 28 likes. What's the deal with that? What's the deal? What's the deal with less likes than yours? What's the deal? Okay, 3-2. Next pitch. Fouled off again. There are going to be 10 pitches to Cam Smith's next pitch from Colin Ray is the 10th. Colin Ray is slowly but surely catching up to McCullers in pitch count. Myers on second, 2 outs, 3-2. Here's the pitch. Hey, hit hard to left field, all the way out to the Crawford boxes. It's gone. Yes, I told you. I told you the Astros can hit this guy. Cam cranks it up on a 3-2. The Astros lead 2-1. That's right, Mr. Ray. Cam Smith rounding the bases. That's right. Crank it up, Cam Smith. He drives in Myers with 2 outs, full count, Crawford boxes. Good move to bring Cam way up into the lineup in the cleanup spot today. Good move, Joe Espada. Astros up 2-1. Next batter is at the plate, Mr. Yainer Diaz. Now that Cam has thrown, I love that, just drops the bat. Give him a shiner, Yainer. That one was outside. Ball 2 to Yainer Diaz. 2-0 is the count. Now that Cam has cranked it up, how about Yainer giving him a shiner? Giving him a shiner. Outside again. Ray suddenly losing control. Maybe, just maybe, McCullers has been empowered, and he has passed the lack of control along to Colin Ray. 3 balls and no strikes. Back-to-back homers for the first time in Cam's career. That ball is in there for a strike. 3-1. Faith wins, Butterfly. That's right. Everybody's like, oh my God, the sky is falling. The sky is falling. It's 1-0. The Astros this, the Astros that. Wham, wham, wham. Come on. Don't be so fair weather. If the weather's fair, I feel good. But if it seems, if there's a little bit of thunder, a little bit of a dark cloud, if there's a little bit of rain, I start freaking out. What kind of life is that to live? To let things bother you so much? Here's the full count to Diaz. He hits this one straight up in the air. That's going to be a fly out to the infield. Should be. Second baseman puts it away. Out number 3, but not before the Astros plug them. Courtesy of Cam Smith into the Crawford boxes. That's right. 2-1 Astros. Kicking the curbs to the curb. 5 hits for the Astros. 1 hit for the Cubs. And now McCullers has the opportunity to get himself a win. This is why in baseball it's useless to give up so early. Astros currently number 2 in the American League. Almost number 1 in the American League. And people are saying, oh, the Astros always do this. The Astros always do that. Oh, same old Astros. This, that. Come on. Give me a freaking break, guys. Give me a break. Come on now. There's a podcast, and I know some of you already know this, where the guy says, always positive, always STROS. Now, I don't have a slogan like that. My slogan is basically Go STROS. It's right there. It's on my wall back there. Go STROS. That's the name of my channel. And that's what I always say. Go STROS. Because it's true, right? It's just true. I want the Astros to go. And what does it mean? Win, Go out there. Do your best. Try hard, It doesn't mean that they will always win, but it means that I'm rooting for them and I'm cheering for them and I believe that they can. Even if they're having a rough spell, it's not going to change that. I'm still going to say Go Astros. I'm still going to say it's okay. We can try again tomorrow. It's the nature of the game. And it is a game. It doesn't matter that they're getting paid lots and lots of money. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you and we are being positive, believing the best, and expecting the best. even in the losses, even in the difficult games, even if we get blown out by the Angels, it's okay. The sky is not falling. Who cares if we get blown out by the A's? It's baseball. It happens. McCullers is back on the mound. First pitch is in there for strike one to Dansby Swanson. Swanson walked in the first inning. Here's the 0-1 pitch. They are just destroying McCullers right now. That's hit number 7 for the Cubs against McCullers. This inning has been a bit of a blow-up. Are they going to pull him out? Yeah, Spada's going to go ahead and pull him out. They should have gone out to talk to him earlier. They didn't. Then they should have pulled him out, and they didn't. And now that we're down 5 runs, they finally pull him out. Questionable coaching right now, in my opinion. Questionable coaching. 7-2 in the top of the 4th with Suzuki on third base, 1 out. It looks like Steven Okert is going to be coming in for the Astros. McCullers is out after a 6-run 4th. 6-run 4th. So McCullers couldn't get through 5 innings. He was so close. He was so close, guys. McCullers had a really rough first inning, and then he was cruising along. He retired 8 batters in a row. 8 batters in a row. And then the solo homer. And then another solo homer. And then the hits. And then another homer. And then a triple. It couldn't be more bipolar, right? That's very bipolar. Talk about completely hit or miss, right? Either all on or all off, but no in between. Completely on or off. First inning, completely off. Second and third inning, completely on. Fourth inning, completely off. It's okay. We're only down by 5 runs. It sounds like a lot, but against this pitcher, I think that the Astros really, really have the ability to hit this pitcher. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I'm not just saying that. I believe that. Yep, Crispy says we scored 7 last night. Got to do it. Yeah, we can do it for sure. I said before the game started that I believe that we have the ability to score more runs in this game than we did yesterday. Okert is on the mound facing Crow Armstrong. First pitch is a swing and miss for strike 1. Come on, Mr. Fried Okert. Runner on third with 1 out. Here is But you know, yesterday and today's games were the ones that the Cubs had the best chance to win, so I don't care too much about it. The very first pitch to Swanson is hit into left field for a single, so the Cubs have another base runner with 1 out. With 2 outs. Astros have Fromber on the mound tomorrow. We take 2 away from the Cubs in this series at home. I'm okay with that. Think about that. 3 against the Phillies, 2 against the Cubs. Taking 5 out of 6. I'm okay with that. We still have a chance to win today. But between yesterday and today, I thought we'd probably lose one of them. First pitch is out of the zone for a ball to Michael Busch. There's no reason for you to be bipolar, Caesar. You can say pass. Okert makes a soft throw over to first base. Swanson is back, no problem. Resets the pitch clock, and now Okert wants to change the ball. It's not over yet, Brendan. We still have 5 innings of ball left, 5.5 innings. Astros are going to bat 6 more times, man. Here comes. Puts it away for out number 3. Bottom of the 4th coming up. Another one of those nightmare innings for McCullers. Earlier this year, I said, and I feel like one of two things are going to happen with McCullers. Either he really needs a lot more time to be a true part of the rotation. He needs a lot more time to work some things out because he's obviously got issues. That hasn't changed this whole year. Or he's just never going to be able to be what he used to be. He's never going to be able to get back to where he was. I think it was it Mark in the chat that said earlier that a lot of pitchers never come back from such injuries, and that's true. He's lucky to be out there at all. But we have to, I say we, but the Astros staff have to ask the question, at what point do we say we can't have him in the starting rotation? Maybe if they work with him over time, he can get back into the starting rotation, but right now, honestly, I think that he should not be in the starting rotation. He's just not ready for it. Even if he manages to get through 5 innings, he throws like 100 pitches, guys. That's not good. He's throwing a majority of balls. He doesn't have the control that he needs. And giving up these home runs? No, I'm sorry. He needs more time to work things out. Whatever they need to do to help him work out, that's what they need to focus on. But he should not be in the starting rotation right now. So I was very surprised because somebody in the live chat yesterday said that they heard that McCullers might be starting. And I thought there's no way, because why would they bring him back so soon, even though he didn't have an injury directly related to his throwing? I just felt like a little more time would have been good for him. Now here we are, 8-2 in the bottom of the 4th. Yeah. Anyway, Victor Caratini's at the plate. First one is hit high into left field and put away. So Caratini does not get the home run in his first 2 at-bats. I thought he would. But he goes after the very first pitch and flies out. Seven runs, 3 home runs, 6 hits, and 11 batters in the top of the 4th for the Curbs. Christian Walker at the plate. He had a double his last at bat. Takes this pitch for a ball. Here's the next pitch. Outside for ball 2. 2-0. Good takes by Walker. 1 out, nobody on. Here in the bottom of the 4th. Crispy, I do agree with you. Gusto should have been on the mound. I was surprised that they put in McCullers. Gusto should have been in there. I was expecting it, and I thought that the Astros had the best chance of winning the series with Gusto, because I thought if the Astros can win the first game, that's the tough one. With Gusto and Valdez, we can win the next 2. We can sweep this series. But for some reason, they decided at the last minute to put in McCullers. I thought that was a bad decision. Right in there, taken for strike 1, 2-1. I'm sorry, 3-1 versus Walker. Yeah, David, he hasn't proven anything in the postseason. That's true, but fouled off on the third base side. Full count to Walker. Yes, Chris, the Astros have come back from 6 runs down. They can do it. Anything is possible, especially when there's a pitcher that you can hit like this one. Yeah, Mark, he's been like that the whole year, walking a lot of batters, throwing a lot of balls, Obviously, he's got something to walk out. Walker strikes out. Another strikeout for Christian Walker. And 2 outs. Johnny, if you keep posting comments, then you're spamming the chat, and I'll have to put you in timeout. So slow down a little bit. Here's the pitch. First pitch in there to Cooper Hummel. Strike 1. Hummel did have a hit his last at bat, but on the very next play, he got thrown out at first base. He got picked off. Ball 1 from Colin Ray. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled off down the first base side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And stop saying mate so much, Johnny. You keep saying mate over and over again. It's weird. Here comes the next pitch. High and outside, ball 2. 2-2. Yeah, Tucker has been a postseason choker so far. Yordan Alvarez. That's the reason why I would not take him over Alvarez. People have said that before. I'm like, why would you take Tucker over Alvarez? Alvarez does not choke like that. He might have some slumps, but he's not a choker. Check swing, held back. They say it's of Luis Garcia. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You also mentioned Javier. Yeah, I do like Javier and Garcia, but there's when they come back, there's no telling what they're going to be like. Fred, it's hard to say, but they do say that the estimate for when they come back changes. Gusto is on the mound, guys. Ryan Gusto is on the mound. I don't know how I feel about this because Gusto should have been in the game from the start, and now they just now have him in. I don't know. He might not feel too happy about that, coming in and trying to play mop-up man. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nico Horner. Here's the next pitch to Horner. Hit high in the air. It's going to be play ball in the infield. Who's going to get it? Paredes? Yep. Out number 1. Infield fly. Gusto gets the first out via pop-up. Infield pop-up. David says Rock the Baby was no ace. I never said he was an ace. Just said that I liked him. And he was on his way to being a really dependable pitcher. That's true. Here comes the first pitch to Matt Shaw. Right on the outside edge, 94 miles an hour, strike 1. 0-1 with 1 out, nobody on. Here in the top of the 5th. Here's the next pitch. That one's hit right up to Gusto and bounces off his glove. He can't grab it like McCullers. That's probably the only thing McCullers was able to do maybe a little better this game than Gusto. Gusto's going to be pitching better, more than likely. But McCullers, with the defensive play, probably could have grabbed that one. Gusto tried to knock it down, but it bounces off of his glove. It was rocketed right up to him. Look at this. Infield hit. 1 out. Reese McGuire at the plate. Fouls this one off. Strike 1. It's interesting, Crispy, that you thought that we would lose this one. I thought it would have been the first game, if any. But we won that one. And then they made a pitching change today, which made our chances of winning go down, actually. But when I thought that Gusto would be on the mound, I thought for sure we would win this one. But then making the change took away that chance of victory. or decreased our chances of victory, rather. Here comes the Caratini, called a pitch out there and went over to first base. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, I sure hope Arrigetti's ready soon. Any of those guys coming back would be nice. This ball's in the dirt. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two and one with 1 out. Runner on first. Double play ball. Here comes the pitch. Right in there. Good pitch by Gusto. 94 miles an hour in the bottom of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reese McGuire, the 9th batter in the lineup. A lefty. Here's the pitch. Way high. Ball 3. Batter takes a little timeout. He's finally back in the box. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from Gusto. Really close. That was really close. Not a bad throw by Caratini, but it was a strikeout by Gusto. Swing and a miss. 2 away. It was really close, but he barely gets in there. Yeah, just by a split second. But 2 away after that strikeout. The next batter comes to the plate, Ian Happ. First pitch is a strike right in there. Strike 1. 0-1 to the leadoff batter. 1 for 3 today. Runner on second, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Woo, nice inside fastball. Strike 2. 0-2. Yeah, actually runs per game, Cubs are second in MLB, guys. So, you know, yesterday was a really, really big game to keep them down. Today they're just kind of making up for it. Ball 1 to Happ. 1-2 is the count. It shouldn't have been a bullpen game. If we had Gusto on the mound, it wouldn't have been a bullpen game. In the dirt, ball 2. Good stop by Caratini. The count is even, 2-2. There was no reason for this to be a bullpen game. If Gusto had started the game, we could have had a really good chance to get through 6 innings without it being 8-2. This game right now could be 2-1, 2-2, or 3-2, or something like that. Here comes the 2-2. High and outside, ball 3, full count to Mr. Happ. Come on, Gusto. Yeah, it'd be nice to get Arrigetti Spaghetti back. Full count to Happ with 2 outs. Runner on second. Gusto gets the call. Here's the strikeout, and that's what we're talking about right there. Gusto comes in and gets her done. Shuts it down in the 5th inning. Nothing doing for the Cubs. Those dirty Curbs. They can go back to the forest. I'm going to go in here right quick, guys, and heat up some more water. The Astros due up in just a minute in the bottom of the 5th. Let's see if we can get something going. Go STROS. All right. Doobie is at the plate, guys. First pitch in there for strike one. Next pitch on the way. Ball one. 1-1. Whew. There's a big old bullfrog outside making a lot of noise. It's hilarious. Right in the middle of the day. Doobie hits this one to right field. Is it going to be down? No. The center fielder is able to grab it on the run. Armstrong grabs it for out number one. Dubon flies out. One away. Let's see what we're missing here. Anything? Nope. Strike one to Isak Paredes. Paredes is 1 for 1 today. He was hit by pitches first at bat. They're among the worst. Here's the pitch. Wow, ripped into the third base side stands by Paredes. Strike two. 1-2 is the count. 34 people following and 34 likes. I appreciate you guys. I know for us Astros fans, it's a challenging game to follow right now, but I'm going to hang in there like I always do. You never know what's going to happen. I've seen them come back before. They can do it again. Out number two. Jake Myers comes to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. High and outside. Ball one. Myers is 1 for 2 today with a single and run scored. 1-0 pitch on the way from Colin Ray. Outside again. Ball two. Yep, we need more than 1 run, but it'd be a nice start to get 1. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Myers. Fouled back. Strike one. 2-1. We definitely need a run. We need a few. We need 5, 6, or more. More preferably. 10 more runs would be fine. Score 10 runs. 2 balls and 1 strike to Myers. He grounds this one foul on the third base side for strike two. Hey, Justin, thank you for the compliment. Excellent commentary. My main goal is to let people know what's going on in the game so they don't have to watch. If you're driving somewhere or you're listening in from work or you're doing some other task, I just want to make sure you understand what's going on in the game and you're enjoying it. So thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing. This is hit high in the air on the infield, actually. Everybody's in, but the first baseman takes it. Out number 3. Myers flies out. 3 up and 3 down for the Astros. Nothing doing in the 5th. I'm kind of surprised. The Astros came out in the beginning looking like they were really going to do something, and then they finally broke it open in the 3rd. But they've been quiet in the 4th and in the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th. Astros down by 6. 8-2 to the Curbs. 9 hits to the Astros. 5 hits. No errors. Gusto was on the mound for the Astros in the 5th inning. My guess is that he will be on the mound again in the 6th. You said we need bases loaded. I don't think so. I mean, bases loaded is nice, but I prefer clearing the bases. Because if the Astros get bases loaded, they haven't been historically very good this year with clearing those bases. So I would just rather say we need a grand slam. My hot water is ready. I'll be right back. Go Astros. Okay, just like the Joker said in that Batman movie that I can't remember the name of, here we go. We are in the top of the sixth. The leadoff batter this inning is none other than Kyle Tucker, followed by... Oh, no, it just changed on the screen, my bad. Kyle Tucker is on deck. Ian Happ is going to lead off the batting. Ian Happ, the top of the lineup for the Curbs, is due up. Gusto's back on the mound for the Astros. First pitch is a little out of the zone. They didn't show it for some reason. They were too busy showing some graphics. Oh no, it is Kyle Tucker. I was right. The information on the screen changed, and so I just followed what it said, but I was right. So my memory was actually correct. Forget you data on the screen. Junky data. Who needs junky data when you have a functioning brain? Kyle Tucker is at the plate with a 1-1. So Tucker has a homer, a single, and a double today. He's trying to go for the triple, or the cycle. Leadoff double, opposite field. It makes sense that he could not get around early on Gusto. He gets lucky with an opposite field hit. That right there was luck. That was not skill. I'm sorry, that was not skill. It was luck. Seiya Suzuki at the plate. He had a triple in the fourth inning. And now he's facing Ryan Gusto with a runner on second and no outs. And I've got a fresh cup of coffee on the way. Here's the first pitch to Suzuki, inside for ball one. Top of the sixth. All right, Gusto. Here comes the second pitch to Suzuki. Right in there, strike one. The count is even. Nice slider. How did I drop all of these coffee grounds on my mouse pad? How did that even happen? How did it even happen? 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. But Tucker's easily able to get to third, no problem. Suzuki with a sacrifice to move Tucker over to third. 1 out. Next batter comes to the plate with 1 out, runner on third. Pete Crow Armstrong at the plate with a big old dip in his mouth. Yuck. A little high. Ball one. Why do people dip? It's so disgusting. Yuck. My brother used to dip. The smell. What a dope. Next pitch is a strike right in the zone to Dansby Swanson. Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to go back and clip that out and post it as a short later. Armstrong got so angry after that. He flipped the bat and he hit himself right in the head. Here comes 0-1 pitch. High for ball one. 1-1 with 2 outs. Kyle Tucker on third, but he's going to have to make himself a little tent and campfire because he's going to stay there permanently. 1 ball, 1 strike to Swanson. Here comes the next pitch from Gusto. Little high and inside, ball 2. 2-1. Yeah, David, the Astros haven't done so well with bases loaded. I mean, I'd like to have bases loaded with no outs as opposed to nobody on or 1 or 2 runners on. But if I could make a wish, I wouldn't wish for bases loaded. I would just wish for the Astros to have a lot of runs. A little outside. Ball 3, 3-1. Yeah, whatever they can do to win, just do it. Yeah, Butterfly, I agree. Here's the score easily. 9-2. So he wins the battle. Gusto unfortunately gives up a run. 10 hits now for the Curbs. Or is that 11? That might be 11 hits. I think it's 11. He just had a nice... Gusto had to try to put it in the zone, and he knew it. Swanson knew it, so he was able to let her rip. Just good batting. Michael Busch at the plate. Takes the first pitch for strike 1. It's going to take 25 hits to win now because we don't hit home runs much. Not really. It never takes the Astros 25 hits to get 9 runs. Or, yeah, I don't know what that's an exaggerated number. Fouled off for strike 2. 0-2 is the count. If the Astros want 9 runs, I'd say they probably have to get like it will be anywhere from 10 to 15 hits. They've already got 5. They only need 7 more to tie, so they can get 8 to 10 more hits and actually do it in 8 to 10 more hits. It's possible. Here's the pitch in the dirt. Ball 1, 1-2. They can also get walks, you know. There are other ways to get on base besides just getting a hit. They can get a couple of walks here and there. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Michael Busch. Give him some mucho gusto. There we go. Half swing, strike 3. Gusto gets the punch out. Shuts it down, but the Cubs do add 1 more run. If today is the Cubs' day, then so be it. Let them get it out of their system because the Astros win the series tomorrow. However, I still believe that the Astros very much have a chance and the ability to put some major runs on the board today. I was expecting them to score a lot of runs today. I'm surprised that they haven't done so. I know that they aren't typically a team that racks up a lot of runs. But the pitcher that's on the mound today seems tailor-made to be a run-making machine for the Astros. And they made him look like it in the 3rd inning. But outside of that, they haven't done much. So, in the words of Will Ferrell's character in Elf, shocking. All right, man, that is a very hot cup of coffee. That's what I'm talking about. $11 hits for the Curbs today. 5 for the Astros. 9-2 going into the bottom of the 6th. Fred says, gonna make my annual trip to watch the Astros. Got lucky to be able to see Fromber pitching. Man, you probably picked the best game. I mean, the first game would have been awesome, but there was no way to know in advance how that game would go. It was a coin toss. Astros had a great game, and it was wonderful. Today, they made the decision to make a pitching change, which I believe was the wrong decision, but that's my personal opinion. It's easy to say that in hindsight, but I never felt comfortable with them changing the pitcher today. Then we have the game tomorrow, which is our chance to win the series. Yeah, sometimes we do. The guys that we're supposed to hit, we don't hit, and the guys we're not supposed to hit, we do hit. It's that's that's baseball. Even the best pitchers get lit up sometimes. Supreme says, I thought we were going to win this game, but apparently we won't. Altuve is at the plate. Rips it right down the line, just barely foul. That was a nice stroke by Altuve. Just slightly foul. Ow. What was that? Altuve fouls that one over to the left side and out of play, thankfully. In between innings, look at this. You see the blood on his nose that we were talking about, Shaw. He was taking grounders in between innings, and it kicked up off his glove and hit him in the nose. Fouled off again by Altuve. The count remains 0-2. Yep, Fred, I agree. Win the series. This is an important series to win at home. Here's the pitch. High, fouled off again by Altuve. Well, you know, David, I think that the mental case Valdez is history. Haven't had an issue with that this year. He has changed a lot. Oh, man, that is good coffee right there. I did a good job. Altuve fouls that one off. He reaches out there and pokes it down the third baseline. Brazier is in. I just realized the Cubs have another pitcher. Ryan Brazier. So 5 innings for their starter, and he's out. Altuve fouls it off again. Man, talk about a battle at the plate. No balls. It's 0-2, and Altuve just keeps fouling it off. Just foul, 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 foul. Here's the pitch. Fouls it again, or is that in play? No, that's going to be out to left field. The shortstop is underneath it. Puts it away. So after about 1,000 foul balls, Altuve finally flies out. He's 0 for 3 today, unfortunately. Supreme Falcon, are you a spammer? Or a better, or what? I mean, what's your purpose in asking my subscribers and live chatters direct questions like that? I don't understand the purpose. Cam Smith at the plate fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Here comes the next one from Brazier. Swing and a miss. High fastball. Cam Smith did have a big home run back in the 3rd inning. Astros only 2 runs the game. That blast to left field. Here comes the 0-2 count with 1 out in the dirt, ball 1. David, I don't think this is Altuve's worst season. I think it's a weird season because of them putting him out in left field and then moving him to second and then moving him into DH and moving him around. I don't agree with that. Hit to the left side, left center field. Another hit for Cam Smith. He puts the brakes on and gets a single right up the middle. So we have ourselves a 1-out base runner. A very fast guy on first base, very fast and capable base runner, with Yainer Diaz coming to the plate. Chris says the game we came back 6 back. I left the house thinking we would lose, and I came back and we would have won, so who knows? Yeah, That's right. Play, unassisted double play by the shortstop. So Yiner grounds out into the double play on the very first pitch. An easy tapper. You could say that Diaz is an even faster turtle than Paredes. He's like a turbo turtle. Diaz is the turbo turtle, and Paredes is just a fast turtle. Diaz is not a slow guy, but he's no speed demon either. So that's why I say he's the turbo turtle. That's it for the Astros in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. We got 3 more innings of ball to go. It feels like a very long game, right? 9-2. We've got 7 runs to make up just to tie it. We need a touchdown. The Astros need a touchdown and an extra point to tie this game up. So you could say it's a 1-score game for the Astros. In football terms, it's a 1-score game. 549 subs on the channel, and I don't mean sandwiches. One more sub to get 550. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I appreciate you doing so. Don't let the disappointment of the first innings of this game keep you from subscribing to the STROS channel. I have to congratulate myself on making such a fine cup of coffee. The Cubs might have 9 runs on the board, but they don't have my coffee, and you never will. You'll never have my coffee. Supreme Falcon, I think that you're being a little strange. I'm going to put you in timeout. I'm going to put you in timeout for 10 minutes. I want you to think about what you're doing. Guys, if you notice in the chat, there's a guy named Supreme Falcon 30 is asking some of you directly very specific questions. I think it's very strange. So I can't tell if this is like setting up for spam or what. The very first pitch from Gusto is hit out into center field. Myers is underneath it. Out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out. Nico Horner flies out. Chef Guillorme is in the game at second base. Chef Santa Guillorme. A young Santa Claus. Good old Chef Santa Guillorme. 1 away. Here comes the next pitch from Gusto. High and inside, ball 1 to Matt Shaw. If you get there within the first 10,000 and they're giving them out, you can get a bobblehead for sure. The Silver Slugger Altuve, I don't know if that was yesterday or that's supposed to be today or tomorrow. I can't remember when it is, but they're giving out like 10,000 of them. And then maybe seven special silver ones. If you get one of those, you'd be really lucky. 2 balls and 1 strike to from Gusto to Shaw with 1 out. Here comes the next pitch. That's in there for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Shaw. David says average is 265. He's a 300 hitter. Yeah, but we're not even halfway through the season yet, so you can't say it's his worst season of his career. Wait until the end of the season, and then you can make an assessment. Here's the count to Matt Shaw. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on. Gusto up to 40 pitches now. Here comes the strike 3 with the K. from Ryan Gusto. 2 away. Mark says he sent me something. Are you talking about the guy I mentioned earlier, Mark? Yeah, the guy putting time out. Yeah, Supreme Falcon 30. You guys can block him. Supreme Falcon 30. He's being weird, so I thought he was like a scammer or something. Apparently he is. Reese McGuire at the plate. He fouls that one off for strike one. Supreme Falcon 30 in the chat. I put him in a 10-minute timeout because he was being weird. This guy. Supreme Falcon 30. When people start asking, like talking to you directly by name and asking very specific questions that don't make any sense at all, it's a red flag. But he has done that to 2 different people. So I put him in timeout. Probably just going to wind up deleting him from the channel, blocking him from the channel. I don't tolerate scammers. So I'm very quick to recognize that. Here it comes the next pitch. In the dirt. Ball 1. The count is even. 2 outs. Bully McGuire at the plate. Reese McGuire at the plate. 1-1 is the count. Here comes the perch. Check swing. Did he go? That's a strike either way. Didn't matter. Right in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes to McGuire. Mark says I can out-weird him. Well, I don't mind people acting weird, but when I say he was acting weird, I mean in a scammy way. This is hit out to left field, but shallow. Predis jogs out there and grabs it, no problem. Out number 3. 3 up and 3 down for Gusto. A good inning. Astros in a tight game with the Curbs. 9-2. It's a tight game, everybody. It's a tight game. The Astros are only down by 7. Maybe a walk, a couple of hits, and the Astros will have the lead back. That's right. Like I said before, it's a 1-score game, 1 touchdown, and we're back in it. We just need to drive down the field and get 1 touchdown, guys, and we're back in this game. Yeah, I got to protect myself and you guys from scammers. I got an email the other day from somebody, and it was dressed up to look like some type of Amazon invoice. And it was meant for me to click it. Of course, I did not click it. It's an account stealing scam people use to try to steal your YouTube account. So I reported that and deleted it. This morning I got another notification that appeared to be a transaction denial from Wise about my Amazon purchase of about 8,400 yen. But I haven't made any purchases on Amazon with my Wise account. I haven't actually used my Wise account in a couple of months, much less to make a nearly 10,000 yen purchase on Amazon. So obviously, once again, it was a scam, but they want you to click that link. If you click that link, then they can get a bunch of information about you and your account, and then they use it to hack in. So you got to be careful about that crap. Yes, Butterfly, only 1 TD, we can do it. Let's drive down the field. Victor Caratini is at the plate. It looks like he's going to be the leadoff batter for the Astros this inning, followed by Walker and then Hummel. Now, Caratini didn't have a homer in his first 2 at-bats, but he's batting right-handed now. He might be doing it right now. We don't know. We don't know. Franchise hit leaders. Look at this. Altuve's just 2 hits behind Bagwell for all-time hit leaders for the Astros. Hey, they said Jose Cruz is at this game today. That's pretty cool. They're trying to say that there's a delay by the pitcher, and they charge him with a walk. Now the coach is out there arguing with the umpire. Be quiet. You guys, come on now. You guys are up 9-2, and you're out arguing with the umpires about a pitch clock violation. Look at all these guys. What a oh, and there's another one. The pitcher's trying to say that he had an issue with the he's trying to say that he had an issue with the pitch comm. But it took 4 Cubs coaches come out of the bullpen trying to explain to the umpire what's going on. And now they're swapping it out. Freaking curbs. If it's a close game, I can understand you being a little bothered by that. But man, coming out and arguing about it over that, they say it's not a violation. They give it to them. They give it to them. How often do you see an overturning of a call? Basically never. What a bunch of whiners. The Batman is at the plate, fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Here comes the next one, right in there for strike 2. Now, I thought that Caratini would be batting right-handed earlier, but I forgot that he would be batting lefty against the right-handed pitcher, and that's why I thought he was going to jack one out. But now he is batting righty, so let's see if he does it here. Here's the 0-2. High and outside, ball 1, 1-2 is the count. Here's the pitch, 1-2, outside, ball 2, 2-2. Good take by Caratini. Butterfly says, my coworker clicked on a fake PayPal, and when he clicked and called, his bank account was hacked. Yeah, you got to be really careful with that stuff. That's how people lose their accounts. Oh, okay, Caratini strikes out. Swing and a miss on the 2-2 pitch. Pomeranz is in for the Cubs, by the way. I forgot to change that on the screen. I guess I can update that now. Drew Pomeranz. What kind of name is that? Pomeranz. Christian Walker at the plate takes the first pitch for strike 1 right down the middle. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Little high, ball 1. 1-1. One away. Nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th. Come on, STROS. Let's goes. Let's goes, STROS. Here's a pitch. Ripped down the third baseline, just foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, David, I'll be happy even if we don't win today. It's okay. We can win tomorrow. Take the series. That's the main thing. Take the series. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Good take, ball 2. 2-2. They said that Alvarez was taking more swings with the bat today and doing some running, so he's been doing a little bit of everything. Catching, throwing, running, swinging. They didn't say anything about him hitting yet, though. Just swinging. Here's the 2-2. Walker fouls it off. Mark, I do. Of course, I'd like the Astros to win the game today, and I think we can come back and win. But ball outside, full count to Christian Walker. But the way I look at it is, losing today's game is not a big deal. We've already got one game in the pocket. We have a great chance to win tomorrow, so we could always look forward to that. This is hit high in the air, out to center field. Armstrong makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. Cooper Hummel on deck, coming to the plate in just a moment. Big orange sombrero. That's hilarious. Big H. Houston H necklace. 2 away. Hummel at the plate. How about another Hummel homer? And it is. Good toss to first base. 3 up and 3 down. Nothing doing for the Astros from the 4th through the 7th. We've got 2 more innings of ball to go as we come to the close of the 7th inning. We go to the top of the 8th. Ryan Gusto most likely still on the mound for the Astros. He's up to 45 pitches. Ian Happ, I believe, is due up for the Cubs in just a moment. And then Kyle Tucker and Seiya Suzuki. Yeah, Fred, you said you've never seen one overturned. Neither have I. Neither have I. But the Cubs brought their managers out in full force, and they brought their support staff, and they brought out an extra pitch comm, and they went all in on overturning that one. Because, you know, when you're up 9-2 in the 6th inning and you get a pitch clock violation causing the count to be 1-0, that's too tight. You gotta fight that, you know. What a bunch of babies. Yeah, Walker didn't strike out, and you know, every pitch that it was in the zone, he was putting the bat on it, so can't complain about that. Just hope he can get more hits. I agree with you, Evan. If we lose the game, so be it. But I want to see at least 4 runs on the board for the Astros today. I'd be happier with 5, but 4 is always my minimum. No matter who they're playing, the Astros should always have at least 4 runs on the board when this game ends. When the game ends, they should have at least 4 runs, no less. Maybe Orbit could find a football and kick it. That's funny. Maybe the Cubs coach will get thrown out of the game. I'll tell you what. I can see that the Cubs coach is easily getting tossed out of the game. Cesar Salazar is in the game at catcher right now. Can you believe that? Interesting. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Caratini has been moved. Trammell is in left field now. Caratini at first base. Ball 2 to Happ. Here comes the 2-0 pitch from Gusto. A little high, but called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. Pretty interesting selection here, moving people around. Caratini moved from catcher to first. Next pitch is hit out to center field. Oh, Trammell was moved to center field. So I guess Myers is out of the game. They move him out, give him a break. 1 away with that fly ball. I thought Trammell was moved to left field, but no. Myers is out of the game. Walker is out of the game. Pretty interesting. Yeah, Fred, Cubbies are acting sensitive. Is that the kind of team they are? They're up by 7, and they get bent out of shape over a pitch clock violation. They bring the whole dugout out. They literally had 5 guys out there, 4 coaches and an assistant. Kyle Tucker's at the plate, takes the first pitch for ball 1. So one thing I can't stand is a whining team, but especially a team that is doing pretty well, and they whine over something like that. That's really bad. It's like a sore loser or a sore winner, right? A sore loser is bad enough, but a sore winner is even worse. Tucker takes that next pitch for strike 1, 1-1. Here's the next pitch. He rips this one foul down the first base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Supreme Falcon, we do have the second best record in the AL behind the Tigers. Supreme Falcon, why are you talking to Evan directly like that? You're acting weird again. You're at a timeout and you're acting weird again. Ripped foul again down the first base side. Count remains 1-2 to Tucker. That one was right in there. A Swiffer. 1 ball, 1 strike. Come on, Trammell. I'm still waiting for you to show me something, mister. Show me your power. Show me a little something. Here's the 1-1. Nice swing, but he touches nothing but air. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So far, Trammell is 0 for 5, but he has 2 walks. That's about all he's done so far. Not a hit yet. High and outside. Ball 2. 2-2. Waiting for Trammell to show me that first hit. I want to see how he can make contact, how hard he can hit it. Not yet. Strike 3, swing and a miss. So Trammell's letting me down. I was really hoping that he would be really, really something at the plate because he's so fast. Perez looking so serious and calm at the plate with that homer. Just barely gets around that pole. Luis Guillorme, Chef Santa Guillorme is at the plate. Takes that first pitch for ball 1. Here's the next pitch. That would be a strike. Swing and a miss. Here's the pitch. Low. Ball 2. 2-1. 2 outs, nobody on. They keep showing where this ball hit. It hit the yellow on the inside there, that yellow mesh that you see right there. It hit at the bottom of the pole. Next pitch low and inside for ball 3. 3-1 to Guillorme. They said maybe it was about a foot or 2 over the fence. It would have been. Talk about sneaking it in there, but it doesn't matter. It's still a home run. Here's the next pitch. Fouled at the plate. Full count to Chef Guillorme. Yeah, we have a very mediocre offense. I wouldn't say it's the worst, but actually it's definitely not the worst. So saying it's the worst is an extreme exaggeration. We're kind of in the middle. A little better than in the middle, actually. Lost out for out number 3. So, Chef Guillorme goes down. Astros get 1. Not bad. We're chipping away. 15 hits for the Curbs and 7 for the STROS. Half of those hits coming off of Lance McCullers. Half the hits and 8 of the runs coming off McCullers. You know, if you eliminate all of the runs they got off McCullers, basically, this game right now would be 4-3. So, you know, it's all good. Brandon Hallam just now coming in. You're just now seeing the score. It must be a shock. Top of the ninth. Uh, 83, 82. Yes, this is game... No, this is game number 83. They've already played 82 games. So this is game number 83, David. The Astros right now are 49 and 33. So they've played 82 games. So this will be game number 83. A sweep of the Rockies and winning the series against the Dodgers, these will be good things. Definitely good things. Padres on pace for around 30 home runs. Huh? Are you talking about as a team? 30 home runs as a team? That's terrible. That's really, really bad. If that's what you mean, Padres as a team, I don't think that's right. If that's what you mean, I think that's wrong. If that's not what you mean, I'm not sure what you mean. Or do you mean Paredes? You must have meant Paredes. Is that autocorrect? Paredes is what you meant, not Padres. Maybe that's autocorrect. Is that right? I think Paredes is on pace for 35 home runs. Oh, we have a new pitcher. That's interesting. I don't even have Jordan Weems is in for the Astros. Do I have his picture? No, I don't. I don't have a picture for Jordan Weems. First pitch is on the way. Fouled off. Is that going to be playable? No. Salazar can't get to it. That's strike one. Jordan Weems. I need to get his image made. All right. Next pitch is fouled off down the right side, way out into the right field stands for strike two. That ball's hit to center field and caught by the Astros center fielder Trammell for out number one. One away. All right, next pitch. Hit out to Cam Smith in right field by Reese McGuire. Taken in, no problem. 2 up and 2 down for Jordan Weems. I'm not even going to have his picture updated on the screen before this inning is over, it looks like. Let's see if I can get it up before this inning is over. Ian Happ is at the plate. First pitch is on the way. That's in there for strike one. Weems looking pretty decent so far, getting it done. No balls, 1 strike. That ball is in the dirt for ball 1, 1-1. Kyle Tucker on deck. Here comes the next pitch in the dirt again. 2 balls, 1 strike. Next pitch on the way. Fouled back. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sorry about this. So here's the next pitch, the 2-2. High. Full count, 3-2 with 2 outs. David says this was the right trade, getting Cam and Predis for King Tuck. I agree. Seattle lost? Yes, absolutely. That's good. 3-2 pace. No triple, double attempt today for Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker just standing there. He was waiting on deck with an opportunity to try to get the cycle. He won't get that chance. Bottom of the 9th coming up. 12-3. The Cubs are up by just a little bit. Astros have a little work to do. 15 hits for the Curbs and 7 for the Astros. 12-3 with no errors for either team. Hey, and I just got my image for Jordan Weems, but unfortunately it's a little too late. The inning is over, but I'm going to go ahead and update it anyway. I got to add him to my folder. There we go. Let me get that updated. All right, where is it at? Where is it at? There it is. Boom. Jordan Weems is now on the screens. It's all good. 1 second. Whew, I actually can't stand wearing glasses on the screen. If I didn't have to read so many small pieces of text, then I wouldn't need these glasses at all. If I were just sitting here looking at the game and speaking about that and nothing else, it would be no problem. I wouldn't need my glasses. Man, talk about the Astros hurting my live stream, hurting my analytics. 19 viewers right now on this game. I never have. Oh, and caught right on the track, right by the track. Whew. Yiner gave it a ride. He doesn't often pull the ball that far. Left fielder had to go quite a ways to get to it. Out number 2. Okay, guys, you want to see the impossible? Down by 9 runs in the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. Can you imagine a comeback right here? Here's the pitch. Victor Caratini at the plate, batting lefty against Ryan Presley. Swing and a miss, a foul tip. Strike 1. I would have been okay with that, J. Paul. Instead of making a last-minute decision to inject him into this game, just wait and play him later. Fouled off by the Batman, 0-2. I can't complain about the job that Espada is doing, Jay, but there are sometimes he makes some quick, like, knee-jerk decisions that don't make any sense to me, like suddenly pulling Gusto and putting in McCullers. I think that was a knee-jerk reaction. High and outside by Presley. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. Victor Caratini, the Batman at the plate. Come on, Caratini, at least get your home run right now off Presley. Do that. In the dirt, ball 2. I mean, you gotta tag Presley at least once. At least once. Yeah, young manager, you're right, Jay, and sometimes they make emotional knee-jerk decisions. It's just the way it is. With Ryan Presley, Tucker's like, come on, guys, let's just pitch the ball, man. Tucker always looks so indifferent. Even when he was the Astros, he always looks like he just is disconnected and doesn't care about what's going on. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Presley. Caratini takes it right down the middle for strike 3. And that's it. That's the game. Thankfully, the pain is over. We can now put some pressure on the wound and bandage it up and move on. Now's that time, guys, and I won't spend too much time on it, but I will give you a quick recap of this game, and then we'll do a preview of tomorrow's game, and then we'll be out of here. And that'll be it for us today. It's Sunday here in Japan, and 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to do this, wrap this up for you guys, and then I'm going to go make myself some lunch. Sending McCullers to Sugarland again, asks Brandon. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what he needs. But he needs something other than being in the starting rotation. That's my opinion. In the very first inning, it was a rough inning, but McCullers managed to get out of it with only giving up 1 run. Had bases loaded, walked in a run. 1-0. McCullers had a really good second and third inning. He really did. He retired about, let's see, 6, 7, 8 or 9 batters in a row. And then suddenly the bottom fell out. But in the third, the Astros looked like they were showing signs of life. They had a 2-run homer, a 2-run blast by Cam Smith. Scored Myers. 2-1. They had a lead. But in the fourth, that's when McCullers completely fell apart. Bush homered to left center. Horner homered to left. Back-to-back homers. Happ singled to right, scoring a run. Tucker homered to right field, scoring three runs. Armstrong hit a sacrifice fly to center, scoring Suzuki. Just like that, the game went from 2-1 Astros to 8-2 Cubs in just 1 inning. Half an inning. That fast. In the 6th, Cubs tacked on another one with a single to left, 9-2. In the 8th inning, Suzuki homered to left center, scoring Tucker, tacked on 2 more, 11-2. Bush singled to left in the 8th, scoring another run, 12-2. Predis did have a homer in the bottom of the 8th, making it 12-3, but the Astros offense was anemic today overall. And because of the breakdown by McCullers giving up 8 runs, that was really the big difference of the game. If you subtract all those 8 runs, this game was 4-3. So I really believe that McCullers, and I've been saying this since the beginning, he and this is a fact, okay? He has control issues. That's a fact. He throws too many pitches just to get the outs. That's a fact. These are facts. But my opinion is that he has some issues that he needs to work out, and they do not need to have him in the starting rotation right now. He just cannot be a starting rotation pitcher. I don't know why they pulled Gusto to put in McCullers today. It was a bad decision, in my opinion. So, pitching update. McCullers does get the loss. He's 1-2. 8 earned runs today. 4 walks. 7 hits. Only pitched 3.1 innings. Quite the game for McCullers, unfortunately. The Astros had 4 pitchers. Gusto was off his game a little bit, gave up 4 runs, but you can't be too upset with him because he's a starting pitcher. He should have been in from the first inning, and he wasn't. He wasn't given that opportunity. He was brought in to kind of put out the fire and pitched 4 innings, gave up 4 runs. I'm not upset with him. Okert pitched .2 innings, gave up 1 hit, no runs. Weems came in the 9th inning, pitched 1 inning, no hits, no runs. He had a decent 9th inning. That's okay. But I'm just wondering about Espada's decision to suddenly at the last minute bring in McCullers when we had such a better chance with Gusto in the starting position. But it's okay. Tomorrow we have Framber Valdez on the mound, and that's what I wanted to take a look at for you guys. Let's do a quick preview of... Yeah, Chris, you're right. It's sad, but, you know, I don't have any control over it. When the Astros are having a really, really unfavorable game, it really, really hurts my live stream. Really hurts the performance of my video. It makes it look like I'm doing something wrong. Because YouTube doesn't know any better. They don't know, oh, it's the Astros' fault. They just think it's me. Suddenly, I'm not as interesting as I was before. That's what they think. Valdez is going to be facing Jameson Taillon. Is that how you say his name? Jameson Taillon. Taillon is 7-5 with a 4.47 ERA. Now this guy has given up more than 3 times as many home runs as Framber. He's pitched fewer innings than Framber, but he's given up more hits. He struck out 32 less than Framber. The only good thing about Taillon is that his walks are lower than Framber's. He's got almost half, or about half the amount of walks that Framber has given up. But overall, Framber's numbers are stellar. I mean, Framber's good anyway, but his numbers are stellar compared to Taillon. Astros have an excellent chance of winning tomorrow, and they're actually predicted by the ESPN matchup predictor to win at a 56% chance. I don't know how Pena is going to be feeling tomorrow, but we'll see if he'll be back. And we'll see. I'll be interested to see what the lineup looks like tomorrow for the Astros, because it was very strange today. Hopefully, the Astros are back to where their baseline is, and we get this series win tomorrow. This game is going to be an afternoon game, so for me, it's going to be at 3 in the morning, guys. 3 in the morning. So... Game 3 tomorrow, I'll be here. I hope to see you all back for the Astros to have a chance to win this one at home. I'm not going to complain. I expected the Astros. I was like, I think we can win 2 games. A sweep would be nice. But when we won the first game, I thought for sure we can definitely win this series. We can win 2. Today, questionable decision about the pitching. And the Astros got blown up. It's the way it is. But we have an excellent chance to win this at home tomorrow. And if we do, that means we are 5-1 at home versus the Phillies and the Cubs. And that's nothing to complain about. I think that's... If you had known, or you could see the future, that the Astros would win 5 of the 6 games at home versus the Phillies and the Cubs, I think every single one of us would have said, I'll take it. I'll take it. So there's no need to whine and cry or be negative or say the sky is falling. Who cares about today? It happens. It happens. Tomorrow is another day. As far as what's going on around the league, now the Tigers did win against Minnesota, so the Astros are going to lose a full game of ground against them, unfortunately. Seattle lost 3-2 against the Rangers, so that's good. I mean, the Rangers have slipped a lot. I would definitely rather the Rangers to win that game than the Mariners, so that's good. Anything else going on? Wow, Boston won 15-1. That's amazing. Check it out, guys. The Royals beat the Dodgers 9-5. Good job, Dodgers. They were served up a nice Royale with cheese. The White Sox beat the Giants 1-0? Are you kidding me? Who was on the mound that game? That's what I want to know. Yeah, there's nothing else of note. That's it today, guys. Thank you so much. As always, I really appreciate you being here. We did get to almost 40 likes. We're one shy of the live stream from being at 40 likes. That's still not bad considering the result of the game. But I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments, the new subscriptions. We got up to 550 today. 550 subscribers. Thank you for all of those who have either shared the channel, propped up the channel, or the new people that have come in, the people who have been coming back again and again. I appreciate all of you. Love you all. Much love to you all. Wherever you are on this great big earth, have a really great morning, afternoon, or evening. And I'll be back at 3 a.m. here in Japan to do Game 3, Astros versus the Cubs. But for now, all I have left to say, as usual, is go STROS.